This is Josh Kidd, and in this video we'll be looking at the various IDs for your records in Salesforce that are used by Salesforce and HandsOn Connect. And to illustrate this, I've set up this report here that shows 4 different IDs for the connection records in HandsOn Connect. The first ID is the Salesforce ID, and you can see it's here, connection:ID. And this is a 15-digit ID that's unique to every record in Salesforce. It's like the Salesforce Social Security number. It's unique to every single ID, and every record in Salesforce can be referenced by this 15-digit ID. And it will occasionally show up as 18 digits as well, but in most cases that you'll see it's 15 characters. If I open up this record, you can see that the Salesforce ID shows up in the URL for the record. So this 15 character code here is the same one that we see here. The second ID here is the connection ID, and this is the name for this specific connection. And it's just a way to identify connections. Connections don't typically have names, and you'll see the same thing up for occurrences, so they have an ID number instead. And this is just an auto-populated, auto-incremented ID number that starts CO dash and then the ID number. You can see this here as the connection ID on the connection detail of the record. Next we have the HOC ID, and this is an ID that systems outside of HandsOn Connect can use to identify specific records. And so you'll see here it's based on the connection ID. The last part of that is the same as this, or similar, and another ID that identifies this instance of HandsOn Connect specifically. This is an ID that you'll probably never use. And then the last is an import ID, and you'll see this on all the records. This is an ID that's just used for the initial data import and isn't used again after that. So again, this is something you're probably not going to use, but all of your objects are going to have this field. The most likely IDs to use are these first two. This Salesforce ID in particular is useful when you're wanting to update records in Salesforce, as we'll see in later videos. And that is the introduction to IDs in Salesforce.